Hi guys, and welcome to this game between Jaedong and 815. Jaedong playing for League F Oz, or Jaedong Oz, and 815 playing for KT. What are they? KT Rolsters these days. And following this game will be one of my favourites, and I'll definitely upload it. It'll be Flash versus Higher. I'll actually be honest, at this point of the match, I've already done it, but I'll upload it in the proper order, so no spoilers. Anyway, Jaedong versus 815 should be an interesting game simply because Jaedong, well, he wins Zerg versus Zerg. He's so dominant in Zerg versus Zerg, it might as well be called Jaedong versus Zerg. He has something like an 80%, maybe a bit lower than that these days, 78% win rate against Zerg. So any Zerg going against him is probably not going to be that favoured. One thing I'm not liking about these new pools so far is the coaches seem to have felt they've figured them out, and they're sending out mirror races a lot of the games, and I think a lot of interest is going to die out if this continues. I'm not sure if it's an issue of the map makers or not. Anyway, game starts. We got Jaedong in blue on the left and KT on the right in purple. I think this is Heartbreak Ridge, one of my more favourite maps, and this was from the last Proleague season. Definitely one of the more interesting maps. I think all the races can play an interesting game on this. I think there's enough ramps for Tyrion, I think there's enough expansions for Zerg, and I think there are also well, it's just a strong map for Protoss. There's not a lot of ramps, and sorry, not a lot of ramps. There are a lot of chokes which Protoss can capitalize on. So we'll see what's going to go on here. Pretty standard opening so far. I just like to take a few moments out of this commentary to thank all the big names like Klazar, Cholera, Moltrap, and Diggity. I consider those the real big guys who more or less founded this commentating StarCraft, which it's really inspired me to do it, I guess. I've watched him for a long time, and to be honest, I was watching a long time before even Klazar started. Anyway, it looks like we've got 815 going for an early spawning pool, and Jaedong going for some kind of 12 something build. So hopefully for Jaedong it's going to be a 12 pull, otherwise it's going to be a 12 hatch. In that case, disadvantage Jaedong. But I've seen Jaedong also pull out from these situations before, so it'll be a bit of a iffy call. It looks like he is going for the 12 hatchery, which puts him at a pretty big disadvantage, especially because the spawning pool goes down so late. I personally disagree with the 12 hatchery. I think if you go 12 pool, you always have a good chance of winning, and I think you have less of a chance of losing against 12 hatch than you do if they've gone 9 pool and you go 12 hatch. Because if they go 9 pool and you go 12 hatch, you're more likely going to lose. Whereas if they've gone 12 pull against your 12 hatch, you have a chance of still getting up your defences in time. Oh, in fact, that's actually an advantageous position. Sorry, 12 pull against 9 pull. At least then you still have a chance, although it's still looking really bad for Jaedong. I'm wondering if Jaedong has got this thought out. This is one of the reasons that Zerg is generally considered a rock, paper, scissors matchup, because there are 3 viable builds you can go for the start, and each tend to counter one or the other, but I feel to lesser and greater degrees anyway. So yeah, Jaedong sees these lings coming in, and he knows that he needs this pull up. One thing that's really nice is that those hatcheries tend to have a bit of hit points. I think he should probably bring his drones off the line when he does go. Yeah, and there we go, drones off the line. He needs to see what's coming. He's definitely going to have a ling advantage if he can fight this off. But it looks like 8 lings coming in. He's 815 has followed this up. Jaedong is in huge trouble here. He's going to lose his hatchery. The lings are just too late. One thing that Zerg typically don't do is they don't build straight into that. They don't go burrow straight into that hatchery. They make the mistake of buggering around trying to chase off Zerglings or drones in that case. But that time his positioning was perfect. He knew he just had to keep the drones busy while his Zerglings powered down that hatchery. He's claimed the advantage, he backs off, he's upgraded the Leer already, he's got the Spire coming out. Jaedong has nothing at this point. He's just piled Zerglings in front of his base. Jaedong can't break this with his Zerglings, he just doesn't have enough. And unfortunately for Jaedong, this is just not going to work for him. A beautiful curve there by 815. Xavier was one of the first players who started really, making this quite popular, the curves for Zerglings, but because every time you run in, you're going to get hit by more attackers than you can get away with. And what he's doing is he's just plugging away one Zergling at a time. Oh, and Jaedong loses 2 more. This is just really bad for Jaedong. Jaedong's not going to be able to come out of this. Spire's going to come up soon. Muta will be out, and Jaedong will GG pretty much. I don't think Jaedong will even have a Spire up by the time the Muta are going to hit his base. And on top of all this, yeah, Jaedong hasn't even got a Leer coming out. He knows it's over. You can see the shake of his head. It's basically a resignation by every single Pro League player I've ever seen. And once you lose the belief, you really lose all ability to come back. But even in there, I don't care how hard Jaedong believes he can win this game. He's going to have a huge issue. The only way GG there. I guess it's a quick game. Jaedong losing a Zerg vs Zerg.